Welcome everybody to another episode of the Centre Circle podcast, episode 63.
Yep.
63, all right, Keith. Today you've got myself, John.
Binzi.
Keith.
The Premier League has finally ended, man. It's finally ended.
Sad day, man. Sad day.
West Ham, you lot are useless, bro. But yeah, today we'll go through the combination of the Premier League, the not so dramatic last day. We'll look at how the table's finished and who's qualified for what. My United fans are going to enjoy that bit in particular. And then we'll look ahead to some of the final games of the season. We got the Europa League final, Championship playoffs, so we'll know who's coming up to complete the Premier League next season. Champions League final to look forward to. FA Cup final where Manchester City can do another double. And then we've got the Euros to now look forward to as well. So yeah, a few bits to get through. So yeah.
How you guys feeling? You all right? You okay?
Let me go for the results first before you dive in.
I think everyone's ready by now, bro.
Eager, just because you don't want to play for that. Move, man. Anyway. So yeah, just running through the results. Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp's last game at home, beat Wolves 2-0. Clearly Semedo wanted an early holiday, got himself sent off. Tottenham won away at Sheffield United, 3-0. Too little, too late. Fulham 4, Luton Town 2. Luton's relegation was confirmed today. Did well to take it to the last day.
Yeah,
even though it was
definitely
mathematically basically done. Manchester United 2, Brighton 0. Too little, too late. Almost to no avail there. Manchester City 3, useless United. West Ham 1. Arsenal 2, Everton 1, just about. Newcastle 4, Brentford 2. Newcastle were 3-0 ahead in that game, to be fair. So that scoreline in the end is slightly flattering for Brentford. Crystal Palace 5, Aston Villa 0. Mateta.
Your boy.
Talk about a revival. I thought you were going to be the new Jordan Ayew, but clearly not. Nottingham Forest 2. Well, Burnley 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Forest seeing it out. Despite what Daz thinks, I think they've done all right this season. And then lastly, Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1. I saw Todd Burley giving an interview. He was at the Qatar Economic Forum. And he's basically saying since Boxing Day, they've got the best number of Premiership points outside of the top 3. So, again, when the narrative follows, sometimes you just have to look at the facts. So yeah, that was the final day. I think it's nice that they all play at the same time. It's all done. None of this Sky rubbish. Even though it was a title situation, they were showing Chelsea, Bournemouth or whatever it is instead of the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
They didn't have the pick. So TNT had the second pick.
Ah, okay.
Sky had first pick, TNT had second pick.
Okay, so Arsenal game was on TNT?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realise.
You didn't watch your boys today?
I did, just not on TNT.
VPN.
So you got to see the game somehow. So yeah, straight to the title. Man City, West Ham. We talked about it before, yeah. And Daz asked. He said, so who do you think could lay a hand on City? And I said, well, I've no faith in Spurs, which ultimately probably proved wrong because they're the ones that gave the most resistance. I said, maybe West Ham, And I was wrong because 79 seconds in, Phil Foden scored.
Yeah.
Useless. I mean, great goal from Foden.
Yeah.
He's taken the edge of the box, turned out onto his left foot and, slapped it top left. I guess vindicating some of the discourse around his Player of the Year award, which I don't understand why there was even a debate about, to be honest. But yeah, just feel like West Ham were already on holiday. What do you think, Keith?
Yeah, I didn't see the game, but if you kind of look at the history of Man City and their kind of run-ins, they always kind of get over the line last game of the season. We spoke about West Ham. They're very indifferent. And not many teams go to Manchester City and get a point, let alone a victory that would have helped Arsenal out. And I wasn't So I wasn't surprised they scored so early, to be honest. And yeah, when I saw the goal, like, yeah, Foden, like, round of applause. Like, the way he took the ball and just opened it up for the shot, like, you just knew what he was doing.
It was poor defending, though. He had a lot of time.
As he
It
received
was,
it.
it was shocking.
Yeah, just, as I kept saying, man, the hope that kills. And they put a bullet in the horse quite early.
Very, very early. Very early. What did you think, Vince, early on?
Yeah, like again, kind of echoing what Keith's saying, but I thought they might have given a little bit more resistance just based on it's Moyes' last game.
Same.
They want to put a kind of a good, a good effort for the new manager and for the fans that's travelled up to Manchester for them, but it weren't to be. And the reality of it is Man City's quality is just too much for those type of teams,
Yeah, no, and I think Doku as well. He had a really good game today. From early, he was onto West Ham's defenders.
Yeah, pace is horrible.
Yeah,
that blistering pace is horrible to defend against.
And what I found with him when we looked at this, when we watched him this season, I don't know. I think he's a confidence player because you have moments where, yes, he will get the ball. He will always go at the fullback, but maybe the end product isn't there, or sometimes he can be a bit predictable. So after the first few times, fullback kind of figures him out. But when he gets that little bit of confidence, when he starts to feel his way into the game, then he switches up a little bit. He's going outside. He's coming inside. Then the defender does it. Every time he flitches, the defender's all over the place. So it was a great assist for the second goal. I don't know how he threaded that through like 4 defenders. And then again, Phil Foden slots it in. And I'm like, at this point, I was just going to allow football for the day, to be honest. Just get going. But to be fair to West Ham, they got one back through I don't know. That might have to be in the goal of season contenders, you know?
Yeah. Just because he set himself up in
Yes. Old school.
It was so close, powerful.
Technique was on point. Kudos with an old school overhead kick.
Just thinking like all the top teams are kicking themselves.
Yeah.
Again, that was an easy signing.
Yeah.
Mate.
He wasn't even that much, was he?
No.
It was 50 million or something.
Yeah, that's mad.
It was him and Diaby for me are the ones that people missed out on. And I know Diaby's season hasn't carried on the way it started, but again, you just think, you could just imagine in the Liverpool Arsenal, what would he have done in the product? So yeah, those two there. And then now, to the point you made years ago about Maddison, now if you're going to get my West Ham, they're going to tell you 80 million, 90 million.
Yeah, easily.
It's crazy. So yeah, early on. And then at the other game, Arsenal-Everton, Arsenal go down 1-0. Deflected free kick from Jusegay. I'm like, well, this is going to be an interesting conversation after because we didn't even know that our end of the bargain. I was quickly rectified by Tomiyasu. But again, Saka was not in the squad, muscular injury. Did you see much of the game?
Yeah, I watched the game. You could see the occasion got to us a little bit, but we was also like really going for it to say, you know what, at least we leave everything out there on the pitch and no one can question our commitment to the game, to the calls actually. For me, you could see that was really pushing. That's what was giving Everton the chance to come back into it or nick a goal. I think there was a bit of football god karma there as well because for me, and the reason why I'm saying that is because Martinelli went down injured and then Pickford encouraged his player to kick it out and then we tried to take an attacking throw on, like to go for the goal rather than give it back. So I was like, boy, for me, that's a bit of karma in it, like a bit unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
However, we kept them knocking at the door. And for me, I left the game with, actually, we're ready for next season. I think we've pushed it. I don't think we're going to drop off next season. I think we're going to be in it. And that's the new development, the growth in the players. Like we went, battled and got the second goal to win the game. And at least we could say, well, we left everything out there. That's it.
Yeah, fair enough. And I guess the conversation is now going to ramble on about Arteta, about the Arsenal team, about, second is not a trophy, blah, blah, blah. Key, as someone whose team has been challenging for some time, how do you view a season like this?
Frustrating because you can see the development in the team, the squad, the manager. And you can kind of sense like the feel-good factor around Arsenal, which hasn't been there for a long time. Like, I think you kind of got it back a little bit last year, where this season, I think you had more people rallying around the team and willing you to do well, kind of, where you had kind of, those Arsenal fans who were like always a little bit negative, etc. You had less of that. And as Adrian said, like, you can see where the team is going. And I don't think there's going to be a drop-off next season. But I think as long as Pep's around, that doesn't that doesn't matter. I think it's like you want to win the league and do good in Europe, innit? And I think to do that, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money. And I think
spend a lot of money from here onwards as well.
Yeah, like you can't go into next season with this squad as it is and expect to replicate. That's my opinion. I think this season you've been very fortunate with injuries to your key players. Who are you disagreeing on?
What, injuries to key players? Or
we've
nursed them. We've carried them through. So Saka was injured.
As I said before, Arsenal have been able to play key six or seven players in, I'd say, 90% of your games. And if you look around, only maybe Man City have been able to do that this season. So when I say you've been lucky with injuries, I don't mean you haven't had any injuries.
Even Kevin De Bruyne was out for a long period of time.
Yeah. So I'm not saying you haven't had injuries. I'm saying like the key. So you look at
Saliba.
You played White, Gabriel, and Saliba.
And Odegaard.
Those three in your defence. From when did Gabriel came in? After like the fourth game or something? That's kind of been ever present. Odegaard and Rice have always been in your midfield. And you've essentially had Havertz and Saka. Like always. So
Saka's played no matter what, you know.
So you just kind of
on his feet. Playing.
So you filled in left back, one in midfield, and kind of interchangeable two up top. So you've had kind of a steady team.
Yeah.
And I think it will be very, very fortunate for you to have that again next season, especially with like the new format of the Champions
so I
League,
agree we
etc.
need additions. Just when you say we need to spend a lot of money, I agree largely with what you said, but we definitely need additions. Yeah.
So it's just frustrating for you guys because you can see the development of the team and how far you've come on. And like, not a slight, but if you had like another trophy to fall back on this season, you could be like, right, we're pushing them in the league. We're capable of winning a trophy and sustain a challenge. We can kick on now, which is kind of what Liverpool done. We won the Champions League first, but we still got 90 points in the league. Then we won the league, and we had a bit of a fall off. But then we came back and got to the Champions League final again and challenged for the league, etc. I think that's the next point of being able to maintain like a domestic cup or European cup while still.
And we definitely have to win something next season. We can't.
Yeah, like another trophy this season
again.
is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you think the FA Cup abates the conversation? I don't think it's enough.
No, but it gives you a taste for winning.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. I'm talking about more what that means for the direction of Arsenal, like we've discussed before, right? I don't know, man. I think, I hear what you said about frustration. I look at it slightly different. I just think, yet again, because I think if Manchester City set pace from early and you're chasing them, that's one thing. I think, as I said previously before, when you got yourself in a position where you're controlling the narrative, you let it slip. I think doing that 2 years in a row, I don't know if there'll be a third. I'll be honest. And the thing that everyone always, when they talk about us saying no for next season, they always negate this point, the point of other people are going to get better as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Other people are going to be another season on.
You'll be settled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Bit
And
more
that happened
aggressive.
from last season. So like we got better from last season. So we pushed it. And other teams might get better. So
we're not the only
taking
ones
points.
who can just get better. So we're building from a really good place. But for a lot of this season, it was just City, Liverpool, Arsenal. Like, I expected a little bit of a turbulent season next year for Liverpool. Even if your new manager hits the ground running, it still will be, I think there's going to be a little bit of a drop-off, I'll be honest. That's what history tells us.
Just a culture shock for him.
Yeah, exactly. That history tells us. So yeah, I don't know. I think I just find it annoying because it's down to us. If we were chasing them and we did all we could, I get it. But there's definitely 3 or 4 results. And people can say, oh yeah, City are the best, blah, blah, blah. But if you're going to win the league, there's always 2 or 3 turning points. I don't care if it's the old days when you were winning the league with 81 points or now when you're winning. There's always 2 or 3 turning points. And you get through those and you can. I just don't know how many years you can keep having that story. Because not everyone else is not standing still.
Yeah.
City definitely not standing still. But someone said something to me yesterday that I hadn't thought of. So they're very adamant, a friend of mine, very adamant that this is City's last championship for a long time. Even because at the very, very, very least, they're going to have a hefty points deduction from this thing. Even if they don't get relegated, you know, they're going to get a fine, but I think the sentiment around it is you can't hurt City with money, which I think is wrong, but fine. So he's like, look, you know, they're going to get hefty, double digits, 15, 20, 25, whatever points. That alone means they're not winning the league next season.
I think there's another thing as well that goes into it is the age.
Yeah.
And I was looking at and listening to a pod actually, and it was highlighting about championship winning teams. The average age of the squad, and it's around the 25, 28 mark. And we've got quite a few broken into that age bracket now. Where now Man City coming out of that age bracket now, like they're getting a lot older because you got to remember Walker's what, 30 odd.
De Bruyne's 31, 32, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of them are quite senior, you know. And don't get me wrong, they still got a lot of young players and good talent, but it's just that and then Kovacic is what, 30s?
Yeah.
So they're going on to the other side now where it is going to be a little bit harder. And like I was saying earlier to Keith about another team, it's not just as easy as to buy a player that looks great. You know, we can always, we go buy this player and he's going to be great because the numbers show that, but we don't factor in the move, what the move means for them if they're coming from abroad, you know, injuries, you know, culture shock for them, all those things make a difference for some players. So, like I said, I think like next season can't be the same for Arsenal. We have to win something. I think the FA Cup and a good title push or a domestic double for me and a good title push will say, all right, that gives us another season. Otherwise, like me and you always converse saying we'll have to start looking.
Yeah. Or Arteta starts looking. But everyone says it like, I'm saying, like, would you be really surprised, if next season, let's say we win FA Cup, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever happens, we don't win the league and we don't win the Champions League. So let's say we do really well in Champions League, we get semi-final or something. We push again and win FA Cup. Would you be that surprised if Arteta was like, mate, I got a call from whatever team I'm off?
Yeah. I don't think he would tout to leave, but I think if he got a call, and it's like...
It would have been 5.5 years at that point.
Yeah. And like we kind of look at up-and-coming managers having to be at like smaller clubs, if that makes sense, where you can see what Arteta's capabilities are in it. Like it took him a while to get there. Everyone was a bit like, oh, we're not sure about this. But the last 2 seasons have shown that he can manage at the elite level. Whether like he can win trophies at that level, we don't know that yet, do we?
Yeah.
But I think, if he did get a call from, let's say, Barcelona, like he's got the link there, he might be like, oh, let me go and give it a try.
Even a Juventus or something like everyone
you wouldn't go Italy. I don't think you leave Arsenal to go. I know to win a league, you might like to try and win a league, you might do. But I don't see the allure of leaving Arsenal to go.
At that point, I think everyone always talks about, like I'm saying, Arsenal should fire him, etc. I'm saying,
no.
At that point, either of them could be like, you know what? Thanks.
Yeah.
Done my time. And someone's coming along and saying, you can have this, you can have that. Well, he's not going to stay. Is he going to stay Arsenal for the whole of his career? No. He's not going to, I don't think.
No.
So yeah. So look, I think, well done, City.
To be fair, we've all forgotten about the 4 in a row already, mate. Like, it only happened a couple of hours ago. No one cares, innit?
No, like, and people are talking about it as a proof point as to, they spent loads of money, blah, blah, blah. But again, City did 3 in a row. I mean, United did 3 in a row twice in 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just, City have come and their money, they burn everyone on the water. Fine, they're the first to do 4. But when United did it, they were the first for I think 20 or 30 years to do the 3 in a row, and then they did it twice in 10 years. So
yeah, you still got to give them their props. Like I know
Yeah.
I was being a bit facetious, but like Pepper's created a monster in it,
100%.
and
That's his what? His 6th Prem title?
no 7th.
No, I think it's his 6th. Let me check.
Oh, is it 6th? Oh, sorry, I thought it was this.
No, it's
He
it.
didn't win the first year. He came 3rd the first year, I think.
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
lost a year, 2 years old.
Yeah,
And then the year you guys won. And then that's it.
and then they won two before that.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, like he created them at the start. Like I know they've got all the charges levied against them, but you still need to be able to do it on the pitch, innit? Like,
Yeah,
and that's what he's done. Like, and you've seen the iterations of his team. If you look at his first squad
Yeah, 6.
to what's now, like he's had a lot of players,
Yeah.
but he's like, right, you don't work, hold it. You don't work, hold it.
Mm.
You work, come in, slot in, blah blah
Mm,
blah. Like so, I think you got to give him his props. Like I know they've had all the charges, etc. Like you said, but you still got to go out and deliver, and they deliver and then some.
And we've seen managers have the money and all of that stuff and still not do well.
And this, and I think it's kind of like a myth, innit? Like they say they spend, but what was the Kanji 25?
Mm.
Ake. So it's not like they've gone out wild.
But what they're good at is that 40 to 55 sweet spot
Yeah.
where they're not really breaking records, but they're getting
They're ballers.
but they buy a lot of them in it, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
look like they're spending the
How much was Doku?
I don't think. It was
Again, I
that
think that
much.
was that same, like 30,
Yeah.
40s.
Yeah, it wasn't loads.
Mm.
Like I think the people they've really spent money on
It's
is
Grealish.
Vardiol,
And
Grealish, and was it Diaz? Yeah, Diaz. They broke their transfer like
Yeah, Diaz
yeah.
was,
So
was
they won the league
80s,
and then they
yeah.
broke the record like
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get him in.
Mm.
Broke their transfer record. So yeah, they don't spend loads in the like the high 80s to 100s, but they get that little
40,
sweet spot of 40 to 55 to 60, and it doesn't really.
So what do you think the next evolution of that City team is?
I don't think there's going to be a major evolution while Pep's there. I think when he
You don't think
goes-
so? Because he's already done one.
I thought
Like that whole going to 4 centre-backs, playing at the back,
Mm.
all of that stuff. He went from a team that did the whole no main striker,
Mhm.
small technical players up front running around, to we're gonna have 4 centre-backs playing
Yeah.
across the back 4, who can all good on the ball so they can come inside. Big striker up front. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think he may go to a 3 at the back? Because he's played with it a little bit, the 3 centre backs.
I'm just trying to think what, to your point about the age now, right? So Mahrez leaves, he brings in Doku. That one was, they're not the same player, but he wanted a different way to get to the same result.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll push Doku now to have the same kind of consistent end result as Mahrez did. And he just reminded me of him in some of his play today, the first touch, and then getting onto the fullback as quickly as he can. There was one where he received the ball on the right this time. First touch, killed it. Defenders in no man's land. He's cutting and shot with his left foot.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm just trying to think. So De Bruyne's got to leave at some point. He can't keep doing what he's doing. Maybe he's got another 2 years at this level. Max.
Yeah.
Walker's got to go at some point. He's 33, 34 now.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think, if I take those guys out, what do we think? Or what do we think that next? I don't think Grealish is there for much longer, if I'm honest.
No.
But you never know with Pep.
Yeah, I don't think Pep's. When I say like I don't think there'll be much of an evolution, I don't think Pep's going to be there for much longer. I think maybe
He just signed an extension.
maybe 2 years.
He just signed an extension to 27.
So do Klopp, man. Like, I don't mean that. Like, I think
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I
That
can't
kind of-
see him.
That kind of money, like everything's there.
It's
He
perfect for him.
he can buy what he wants. He's getting paid very well. He's winning.
Just being
He's in the
short.
Prem.
Yeah, but obviously I don't know him in it, but he gets lobbied with the you always inherit a good team in it.
I don't think he cares.
Yeah, I don't think he
And-
cares about it.
Because Pep's not going anywhere to. He's not going anywhere to do an Arteta. He's not going anywhere to take a team from
Yeah.
nothing. He's not doing that now.
You never know, man. He
Because the
might
only place
be.
for him to go is Italy, right?
I think the next job for him is Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll take that job, but I think he might go Italy, and I think Italy would be a real test for him because we know teams in Italy don't have the money to spend a lot, and he'd have to use the tools he inherits and do kind of more shrewd signings to get the end result.
How old is
yeah.
Rodri?
Late 20s,
late
early
20s.
30s, I'd say.
Nah, he can't be early 30s.
No, he's late
Late
20s.
20s.
I think that's key to that question.
Because Stones is 30s now, right? Stones, I think Stones.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can't see Pep.
Right, Rodri is 27. And the reason why I checked that, because I think that's key to the question I just asked you guys. If Rodri was 31, 32, that's different.
Yeah.
But actually, if
doesn't
Rodri's there,
He doesn't need to find a new Rodri, does he?
not for now, the same way you had to find him for Fernandinho,
Yeah.
and he can adjust. I'm not saying that other components can't change around him, but that's key, very, very key. And I think De Bruyne leads, Foden
Drops into
keeps the centre bit. That's kind of him. But I'm trying to speculate on what the actual patterns of play are now going forward. But I think he keeps the 4 centre backs piece for another year. I'm just thinking, what's next? So maybe you're right. Maybe he goes straight at the back. Maybe there's an Hakimi type purchase. Maybe if they get someone like that, they change things. I don't know.
Do you think he might?
Or he might just try get some fullbacks. Like
That's what I'm saying. Someone like Hakimi, someone.
I don't know. I think if you're looking at it, I don't think they're interested in fullbacks getting forward like that anymore.
No, they're not.
I don't think they're interested. Like, I
But
think,
Vardiel has been doing that.
Yeah, but he's
the last kind of. No, what I mean, like in terms of positional play, he's been quite advanced over the last like
and
2-3
on the
months.
inside.
and the inside, it's not overlapping or underlapping. He's like coming just on the edge, and that's where he play, and he'll get a goal if he can. But yeah, I think he might go back for pacey wide forwards. Because Doc is one. But I'm trying to think of who else is out there. But I think you might be looking at a wide forward that's quite.
Yeah, so you have one on each side.
Yeah.
I want to see how the Grealish stories unfolded because we've seen other Pep's time players hardly play for a whole season. You think they're going to leave, then the next season they play the whole season. Well, Grealish has just done the opposite. He played a lot last year.
Yeah. Yeah, happened with Sterling a fair bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it happened with Silva, remember?
Yeah.
Foden. So maybe it's too early. You never know with Pep. Next year he could be the darling of the thing. But yeah, 4 Premier Leagues in a row. Manchester City.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
Yeah, big him up.
West Ham, I hate you forever now. So good. And I guess just a quick one on Everton. So back to the Arsenal-Everton game. Ended up 2-1. I don't know. I don't want to say it's ironic, but it's almost poetic. Havertz scores the goal to make it 2-1. He came at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Ridiculed. I tell you, don't know what you're doing. He finishes the season as probably one of Arsenal's very important players, important for how we play.
Yeah. Scored
crucial goals, crucial assists. And Everton, despite the fact that they lost, looked at their record, last 5 games, 1 draw, 4 wins. Come to Emirates on the last day, took a lead, but yeah, you got I'm not a big fan of Sean Dyche, but that's a turnaround. You know?
Yeah. And I even tweeted before the game, like, a lot of people were saying, oh, can West Ham cause an upset? But, like, no one was banking on Everton potentially getting points.
If the game was away, I would have. Yeah, like, if the game was away, I wouldn't have been so sure, but I just thought at home.
Yeah, but I knew it wouldn't be, like, regardless of kind of the title being straightforward. Like, I knew it wasn't going to be a straightforward game, just how Everton have played over the last kind of 5-6 weeks. So I was surprised, like, no one was like, well, hold on. It's not a foregone conclusion that Arsenal were going to get the points, which it kind of panned out today. Like, you had to dig in and grind it out. But yeah, I think Dyche has got a halfway decent foundation for next season.
I mean, I don't think he's there long, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so moving on to the European places then. Moving on from the title. Let's talk about Liverpool. Last game of the season, Anfield. Klopp's last game. How are you feeling about it, Keith? It's happened. We're here now. It's been talked about for months. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, sad time, man. Like, before he came in, we were at a pretty low point.
Here we go.
What do you mean, here we go? Like, I'm just talking the things, isn't it?
Are you doing a farewell parade? Are you going up there for that?
There's no farewell parade.
No, sorry to interrupt, but you know what's funny? He's been there so long. I can't. Because he came in after Brendan, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a distant memory, boy.
It's 9 years, man. Like, it's a long time.
Yeah, it is 9 years. Yeah.
And like, we were on the cusp with Brendan, and I've always kind of said that not winning the league, I think it was 13-14 season.
Was that the slip?
Yeah, the slip.
Mm.
I think not winning that league was kind of a bit of a blessing in disguise. I think if we had won it, like we saw the kind of money that Rodgers had to spend, didn't use it wisely, etc. Yeah, I don't think we would have kind of developed as.
But that was the
what we
second
did.
time Rodgers came second, right?
No, just the once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the once. But yeah, Klopp came in and kind of got everyone feeling happy again. Like everyone was kind of invested in what he was doing. Took him a while, but in every competition, he either got to a final of the competition or won it in his tenure there. And that's as a fan, that's what you want. You want to see your team win everything. He won everything he could, bar the Europa Cup, Europa League, sorry, with Liverpool. Only 3 managers have won the league and the Champions League with the same Premier League team. He's one of them. Yeah, like it's gonna be sad, man. It's gonna be hard to replicate that. So when Slot comes in, he'll have a massive task on his hand. Just for managing Liverpool anyway, but following someone like Klopp, there's going to be an extra pressure on you just because, not what he done on the pitch, just because of how he's interacting with the fans, etc. Like he was so loved by the club. It's going to be pressure, but again, like life and football move on in it. You can't just wallow on what was. You've got to move forward, and that's what we've got to do, man.
Yeah, Vince, what's your take on the Klopp era and now it's over?
You know what? It's been impressive. You know, a bit envious from my side because I wanted Klopp before he came to you lot. I was like, and I was a Wenger out for a while. I saw Klopp at Dortmund doing what he was doing. I was like, this guy's interesting. But yeah, I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think someone's going to be able to come in for another few years and do what he's done. It's been like incredible. Like, you know what I mean? I think his management skill and motivational skills have been so impressive. Like to keep them that motivated to be like, keep on going back after City each season, you have to be a superb and motivator. And look at some of the jobs he's done with like Henderson. Like no one thought Henderson, even though Henderson's ability was limited, he took Henderson out of the reserves, off the bench, and then Henderson became like a pinnacle player in your team.
Yeah, made him captain after Gerrard.
Yeah, and he just kind of had an eye for certain key people and promoted them really well. So that's going to be a big shoes to fill, like hard to fill actually. I think any manager's going to struggle and see what happens. I think the new manager's going to come in. He's got a bit of work to do. There's still some areas in your team that needs fixing, but I think he's given him at least a good foundation to work from.
Yeah.
And the structure there helps massively as well, right? The whole FSC structure, Edwards, etc. Yeah,
Edwards, Hughes. It's all, it's kind of slotting into place.
Yeah.
Use a pun. But yeah, man, let's just see. Like, I think we can go into next season with a bit of no pressure in it. Like, there's always an expectancy of Liverpool Football Club to reach certain heights. But I think, and I would hope the fans give Slot a bit of grace. Like,
to be fair though, I think historically, even though Liverpool fans get on my nerves, you lot are quite patient as fans. Like you...
Yeah, the only one who was Roy Hodgson. That was the only time I've seen it kind of get tetchy in it. Like, I remember we played Wolves, I think it's on like the 27th of December or something like that. I drove up there, night game. We lost 1-0. And like, when I mean it was frosty, like it was, like, Rav flew over from the States for that game.
Yeah.
And we drove up and we was all excited. Yeah, we're going to beat Wolves, man. Yeah, it's all good. We lost 1-0. Like, we drove back the same night. Like, quiet in the way. I think man have tried to fall asleep. And I'm like, nah, bro, you can't fall asleep while I'm driving.
But I think it's always the how, innit? Like, yeah, if you're not putting up any trees next season, if you're not pushing for the title, it's fine. But I think it's the how.
Can you see the signs in it? Like,
can you see what he's trying to do?
Yeah.
Is the team playing in a certain way? Is the team still playing for each other? Is the team harmony still there? I think a lot of what's hurt Ten Hag is not just the results. It's all the stuff around it. You can see on the pitch, it's a disjointed team. You still don't know what he's trying to do. They have all the rubbish off the pitch. He's had more off the pitch scandals in one team, in one club in his time than 3 or 4 other teams put together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think long as you stay away from all that kind of stuff, I think it will be given some grace and some time to grow. I think my take on Klopp is, I think he's been great. I think he's exactly what Liverpool needed after going through, a few managers. It was almost indicative of the recruitment that came after, because the same way they went and picked someone who was doing what he needed to do in Germany and get to Champions League final, etc. Then they did the same with the players, buying smartly, selling smartly. Some of the sales you guys have made in that regime, I mean, how you got Bournemouth to pay what they paid for Solanke, bro. And Ryan Brewster.
That was the biggest one.
That one, I say, man.
Yeah, we sold Ibe to Bournemouth a fair bit, and the goalkeeper Ward to them as well.
So
yeah,
I think all round it was all well and done. I think I'll be honest. At times his personality grated me. He annoyed me. The larger than life thing. I think he got away with a lot.
Yeah.
But if he's your manager, you must love that stuff. But I'd love to speak to a few Liverpool players, because some of them must have felt like, oh, God, bro, give it a break. Man. You know what I mean? But yeah, all in all, good for the league. I think I would have loved to have seen him. Was he here with Mourinho?
When he was at United.
Yeah, when Mourinho was at United.
But Mourinho calmed down a little bit then. He wasn't as, like, a fiery.
Yeah. So yeah, all in all, great for the league. He's put Liverpool back in that conversation, and now they need to keep it up. I do think it's, when we look back legacy-wise, a lot of it is going to be more around him and the culture, etc., rather than what the style he brought to Liverpool won them on the pitch, right?
100%.
And I think depending on if somebody else comes along and wins a couple of Premier Leagues
while Pep's here, or even, and then, so if I'm wrong and Arteta stays another 5 years and wins 2 Premier Leagues in that time, or 2 or 3 Premier Leagues in that time, I think that will put Klopp's time into a slightly different perspective when it comes to the outcomes, like what he won here, right? Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it's been great for the Premier League. Great to have him around. He's a bit crazy. He's a bit mad. And he did all the things, right? He did all the things that when the managers get to the next level, he did all the cosmetic stuff. One day he came back and he like headlights. You know what I mean? He just sort of changing the guy.
No more glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the little changes you see. Yeah. We started Brendan as well. Brendan as well. So that side of things is funny as well. But yeah, clearly you see all the testimonials. You saw the video today of all the players talking about him. He's well loved. He loved Liverpool. It reminds me a little bit of Benitez, I think his family stayed in Liverpool well after he left
Benitez,
Liverpool.
His wife and daughter are still in Liverpool.
There you go. So yeah, great thanks for the area. So yeah,
I'm sure I was reading that Klopp's wife made him stay the extra year or something because she was happy in Liverpool as well. So.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll be just interested in what he does next. Like, no disrespect, but couldn't care less about Liverpool. What's he gonna do next, man? Where's he gonna land?
So he said he'll never manage an English club again, which I kind of believe in.
Yeah, I believe that.
But like if he landed at a top European club halfway through next season, I wouldn't be surprised.
But I can't see him doing any of the top Spanish teams.
No.
I don't think that's really his thing. Real Madrid, maybe. But Ancelotti has got a job, I think, for a while.
Yeah.
Especially if he wins the Champions League.
Bayern's one's tetchy, don't it? Because his relationship with Dortmund, I don't know if he would.
And I don't know if that Bayern hierarchy
works
are ready to work with someone
outspoken.
Well, not even that. I think if you look at all the managers they've had so far, yes, they got something of a gravitas, but I think since Pep, they've said, we need someone that is almost of a level where they need to respect the club and hierarchy. That's just my take from the outside. But yeah, I think Klopp would be good for Bayern. But you're right. I think his relationship with Dortmund, I don't see him getting there. So for me, I think it's an Italy thing. It'd be interesting to see a Klopp team take on Italy. I think they could do damage there. Big damage.
Yeah.
So,
and I think he'll get Germany at some point.
Oh.
In the future.
I was just about to say international.
But you see some of these tier 1 club managers, I think they're going to struggle with international football because they all live off the intensity.
You think?
They all live off the day-to-day, going to the ground. They all said it. Pep said it. He said it. Mourinho said it about doing international.
I think as they get older, like you kind of see a change in the management, like especially say more Mourinho, where his first spell at Chelsea wasn't all guns blazing, but they were quite fluid. And you saw him kind of get a bit more defensive as his years went on. I think if you said to Mourinho, you got 7 games to win a tournament, I think he's the perfect. And I think a lot of those kind of elite managers, club managers, will be able to handle that. Like, it's 7 games.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't surprise if maybe we start to see a bit like basketball. So you're the club manager, and you're doing the national thing.
Yeah.
And maybe all the player development stuff, all that stuff, someone else does it, right?
Yeah, Karim McKeegan done both jobs for a bit, didn't he?
Yeah. And someone else does it, and then you've got Mourinho coming in, and maybe he's got I don't know, but I just can't see for now one of those top guys just totally putting club football to the side and then just doing the international thing. It's just too slow.
Yeah, it'd be good to see, like, because I don't think we've seen, like, we saw Ericsson do it a little bit, but he kind of faltered. I can't remember, like, many elite, like we're talking about elite club managers going to National League and see how they
Capello.
do. Yeah, but again, he was a bit...
That's towards the end, but he was...
yeah.
So...
England, didn't
But in Italy, they do it. Their top managers manage the national team. Conte managed the national team, didn't he? Mancini, Totti. I think he did in Italy. So they do it. Lippi.
I was just about to say.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, Liverpool fans, wipe it is. So good. Aston Villa, Unai Emery, man. Last 5 games, 2 losses, 2 draws and a win. Are you trying to throw this thing away? What's going on?
But they was on the beach today, innit? Like, they
5-0 defeat.
He's got that in him, though.
Yes.
He's got that in him.
Yes, he has.
Overthinking it.
They're going to be interesting in the Champions League next year.
You know what?
They're going to be very.
And I think in a positive way, because again, don't play with Unai Emery when it comes to European competition.
Yeah. Tactically.
And to be fair, the new format might help them a little bit.
Exactly.
Because see, like, Newcastle essentially got the group of death in it.
Yeah.
There's no
more group of
death. There's no group of death in it.
Yeah.
Like, because you play 8 different teams throughout the
and it's all seeded and all of
the
that
tournament. So
their recruitment is going to be important as well. It's going to be interesting to see where they recruit. But it's good for the players. You think about someone like Leon Bailey, he's getting Champions League football now, long journey through Germany, etc.
Yeah.
John McGinn.
Yeah.
All
Even
these
like
players.
McGinn and Mings at their end of season presentation, they were saying, we were here in the Championship and now we're in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a nice little story to see how they've kind of gone from playing in them Championship grounds to going to the Champions League. But yeah, interesting to see how they do next season.
No, agreed. But when you lose 5-0, I got to talk about the team that beat you 5-0. So yeah, Villa, well done. Champions League, Unai Emery, fantastic job getting him there. For me, he's my number 2 pick for manager of the season. Bournemouth manager number 1.
Okay.
I think if you don't give it to the guy who won the league, then let's give it to people who managerially have done the most difficult jobs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But 5-0, Mateta hat-trick. Woo. I mean, Isaac said it today. When you see players basically do Jekyll and Hyde, and the only difference was the change of the coach. To me, that's what you say. That's real coaching.
Yeah,
because that's the only thing that's changed.
Yeah,
literally overnight. And don't get me wrong. To be fair to Roy Hodgson, when he first came in, again, the whole thing was he let them play with freedom.
Yeah,
and they were scoring more goals and taking more shots, etc. But that was more about Elise, Eze, etc., and all those guys.
Yeah.
But Teta was contributing, but he wasn't even starting.
Yeah.
So, I've not watched enough of Palace, to be honest, but have you watched enough of them bins to almost pinpoint what's changed for Mateta?
I think just the setup. Also, having Elise and Eze back fully fit.
Yeah.
That's going to give you chances.
Yeah.
And then having a centre midfielder, the new guy Walton, that's kind of turning a lot of heads at the moment because of how simple he plays it.
20 million well spent?
Very well spent. Because I did, like I said, I saw the game. I was like, who's this guy? I was just watching him. And this was like maybe 5 games ago, maybe more. And I was like,
and I was rubbishing them at the time.
I looked up and I was like, oh, they bought him from Blackburn for 20 mil.
20 mil.
I was like, okay.
He made them one of the highest spenders in the January transfer window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a Hodgson sign as well. And like it's indicative that Glasner's kept him in the team. Like his performances have been really well.
Really good.
I think what because he went 3-4-3, didn't he? Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, he kind of playing three at the back. Like Klein's been pulling in as a right-sided centre back.
Yeah.
Of late, so he's gone from a flat back four.
Yeah.
To like it's like a free kind of wing back. Because Mitchell's been playing left wing back and
that's
Muniz
right.
has been playing right wing back.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
They got Anderson and Wharton.
Yeah,
in the middle. So he's done well, man. Like it's a bit like Iriola at Bournemouth. Like when they first started, struggled a little bit. Like I don't think Glasner got a win. I think he got one win in his first like eight or 9 games or something like that. But if you keep plugging and you know you
the pattern of play,
it's going to come. Same with Iriola. Like didn't win a game for his first 2-3 months, and then now they're pushing for like a top 10 finish. And if they can keep Elise and Eze, which I think might be tough, if they can keep them two, they'll be pushing for that 7th to 10th sweet spot, even maybe higher, because the way they've played the last 2 months, like they came to Anfield, outplayed us. Well, we wouldn't say they outplayed us, but they contained us. They done enough. They dismantled Manchester United a couple of weeks ago. They dismantled Aston Villa today. They're doing really well, man. So let's see how they.
Yeah, they got. What's the centre back to come back? Gehi.
Yeah, he played today though. But so
I think they keep them. You know, I think they keep them unless someone comes in with a crazy offer for Eze or Elise, which City's capable of. I think they keep them, and I think they can have a decent conversation with them to say, look, they might say we've been here before, but I say, look, you know, no need to rush. We can put the squad in a place now where we can start knocking on the door, maybe a Europa Conference situation, Europa League. I think they might keep them for another season.
Yeah, or they might even just say, give us till January, innit?
Yeah.
Like, give us till January, see how we're getting on.
Yeah.
Like you say, you can say they've been here before, but you can kind of feel it's different from when Vieira came in the first time and when Hodgson came in the second time. It just feels a little bit different, innit? So
they've got a few players because they got that young, is it French midfielder, Decore?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was injured for a good part of the season. So there's something, he's got something to work with. There's a lot of potential in that squad.
Yeah.
Which you've always had.
a good centre back. He's a good centre back.
Yeah. It just means they don't need Nketiah anymore. So you
Anderson
got to find another club for him.
In stats though, Anderson was up there with all the best centre backs. I think he made the stats team of the year in terms of interceptions, blocks, and tackles.
He can ping a ball as well. Our defence.
We say old school Diag.
Yeah.
Don Terry style.
Yeah, he can ping a ball still.
Nice. And then Eze chipped in with 2 goals today as well.
Yeah. And they had one disallowed, so it could have been 6.
I don't know what Villa were doing. But
on the beach, man. They were partying after Tottenham lost last week.
Yeah, it's true. So that's the top 4. Then we got to Spurs. Spurs win 3-0 today away at Sheffield United. Again, what you'd expect from them. Probably a little bit too little too late, but I think after some of Ange's words in the week, I was expecting nothing less than a convincing victory. He was not happy, man.
But to be fair, it's Sheffield United as well. So
exactly.
Yeah, they should win that. Would you put Tottenham down as favourites for the Europa League? Like they've got a good chance of winning it?
I won't put Tottenham down for favourites or anything.
No. And for me, rivalry aside, there's still a lot of holes in their squad.
But I'm not even being like, that's not even an Arsenal Spurs thing. I just don't think Ange's had enough time to turn around that culture. And, we mock him in the whole mate thing, blah, blah, blah. But he genuinely, from what I've seen, looks like someone that is not going to accept that kind of, it's all right, we've done, just, nah, bruv. Like, and I might be reading too much into it, but his journey here wasn't smooth, bro. So now he's here, he's gonna make a real go of it, and he's not gonna suffer any of that kind of mentality. So some of the comments he said when he said, look, the mentality here, the last 48 hours have shown me a lot. The mentality here is interesting.
Yeah.
And I think the reporter said to him, is that internal or external? And he said both.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, okay. And then he doubled down again in his press conference for this weekend's game.
For the game, yeah.
So, I think I still think he needs more players. I'm not going to say, he needs a few windows to turn it around. I think his team already know what they want to do, and we saw the implementation of that. He just needs a few players. And I think he's one of those managers, he doesn't necessarily need big name players. He just needs people that are going to do what he says he's going to do. And quite frankly, are young and fit enough to do it. Because playing for him it's not light work. Not light work. So, I don't know who else is in the competition across from Europe. So in all seriousness, nah, I think they don't have the mentality yet, man. It's going to take some time.
And the squad.
Yeah. They need a striker as well.
And to be fair, it'd be the first time he's coupling Europe with the league as well. So it'd be interesting to see.
Didn't he do Champions League when he was at Celtic?
No, but I mean, like with Tottenham, innit? He had a clear run this year, innit?
True,
true. Like to be, like I as I said last week or the week before, I think he should have put more in the domestic cups than what he did. So yeah, it'll be he's in another cup now, so it'd be interesting to see how he.
And look, you don't reverse decades of non-winning mentality in one season. So
as well as a bad squad or poor players.
But Indeed. But yeah, going to be interesting. And then we get to Europa Conference League. Chelsea, what a story. I mean,
I'm sure if we went back through the archives, I said they'll finish 6, you know. Let's not.
Well, you go back through the archives and tell us when you said that one.
I'm sure we can. Sure. I need to get some AI tool to work on that.
But, I mean,
it's like you said,
what a
since the turn
story.
of the year, they've been good. Apart from when they played the bigger teams, they've been really good.
So I'm going back. I'm looking back now. Even in December, you know,
they're getting little results.
Bro, 3rd of December they beat Brighton 3-2.
Yeah. They just weren't consistent, were they?
No, they beat Sheffield United 2-0 mid-December, and then as Burley said, 27th they beat Crystal Palace 2-1, and then I'm just seeing win.
But what are the wins? Are they by 1 goal, 2 goals?
And yeah.
Not a lot of clean sheets.
3-2.
Yeah.
1-0 Fulham.
They're leaky.
Yeah.
And they're still leaky. But
Yeah. So look, I think it's a good story for them. I think it's a good story for Poch. And as much as, and I think I said it before the season started, I said, look, I don't think Chelsea's strategy is as mad as everyone thinks. I think they've executed a little bit crazy, and those owners are learning a bit more about the league. But I don't actually think that strategy is that crazy. And they felt like they had to accelerate that whole buying promising young players piece. And you know, next season after, we might see some stuff.
Yeah.
We might see some stuff.
Yeah.
And I would actually suggest that they just buy 1 or 2 like mid-career players now
to balance out what they've already got. Yeah.
Like in the spine. Go and get a 26-year-old. 26, 27-year-old.
I might even say a little bit older, like, and see how Thiago like really helped out when he was...
No, not that old.
No, I'm not saying that old. He's like 39. But I mean like 29, 30, someone who can come in, play first team ball, but has got that experience that
the only reason I say that is generationally, you don't want them to be too different, right? That's the only reason I say that. Because that's the one thing they're culture-wise. They got a lot of 21, 22, 23-year-olds, bruv, you see what they're like, man. Like, 29, 30 will come into that, hear the music, see the stuff and be like, oh my God. You start talking like those guys on the TV. So I think a 26, 27-year-old, mid-career, probably have to throw a little bit of money at it, but they've still got a trajectory to go. They're still ahead of their prime years and can still have a bit of influence on some of the younger players. Because even Reece James, he's still only 24?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Chilwell, he's still around that. So yeah, their experience, they got lots of games under their belt, etc. But I think now possibly just 1 or 2 mid to kind of late career, got a few hundred league appearances under their belt. And I think they could do something, man. They could do something.
It's been funny. Like I've been watching their games here and there, and even Modric, he's been slightly stepping up. He hasn't been consistent, but what you saw them chasing him for, you could understand. He's showing glimpses of that ability. Why Chelsea went in for him?
He's not a top level player, you know.
But what with that pace, there's certain things he's been doing, little stuff in the game. I'm like, okay, this is why they were going for you. But it might be confidence. But Caicedo,
I mean, I might be wrong, but if Chelsea get back to challenging for the league and Champions Leagues, Modric is not a first 11 player in the team. That's just my assessment of himself.
Yeah.
Attributes is one thing, but putting it together as a package.
It might just be a bit too much for him, isn't it? He's still young himself.
He's still
like
young.
22,
Might
isn't
just
he?
not be good enough.
Yeah.
It might not be good enough, but like I said, what I've been seeing, an improvement from how he came in
Oh, 100%.
to where he
Oh,
is.
yeah,
and that's what, and I'm like, okay, now I can see what they were looking at, and you're starting to show it a little bit more in the games. And then I know we mentioned it on here about Caicedo. He's been quietly going about his job, and people are not being.
Is that because he's not playing with a certain Argentinian over the
Anyway,
last?
anyway, that's
But
another story.
On that point, I think that's less about Enzo the player, because I think Enzo is cold, by the way.
I don't. I don't.
I think Enzo is nuts. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I think
that's less
Benfica
about
done
him,
a
but
job.
more about the structure and him keeping both of them in the team and what that does to the rest of how he sets up the team.
Yeah.
So Enzo being out of the team now allows him to do certain bits. He's had Cucurella kind of tucking in, etc., picking up the ball inside different areas, doing a bit of a Zinchenko basically.
Yeah. And also, Madueke's kind of stepped up
Yes,
as well.
And Cole Palmer's moved inside.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I'm not having Enter. I'm not having Enter. I'm not having
under 21s, like he balls out. But again, it's like
they all do, man.
the team he's playing in has been inconsistent, so it's hard to kind of.
No,
for
he
you
had
to
that
stand
injury.
out.
I think he scored one game. I thought he was doing well, and then he got injured the same game. But I think Enzo is a good player. And I was super harsh because he'd only played X amount of games. All right, he was part of the World Cup winning squad.
I don't think he's played 100 first team games yet.
He might just be touching it soon.
In Europe.
I think he might just be touching it soon.
Oh, okay.
But yes, there's a difference to him as a player and the things he does, the touches, etc. As to whether he's effective on the game in that system. Fair, I give you. But I think there's a player there. I'm not gonna, man. I think there's a player there. But fair play to Caicedo. Lots of talk, lots of banter about him, etc., etc. He's a flop, blah blah blah. But I don't think we've seen what people thought Chelsea were buying. But he's another one. He's definitely improved massively since he came there.
And he's just ticking over.
I think the last 3 months, I would say.
100%. And I think, again, I saw stats and they were on par with Rice. But like you said, it's the system, the rest of the squad. You that doesn't mean nothing if you're
a
losing.
narrative in football, man.
It's mad. But like I said, I've watched them and saying, actually, you're doing what you was bought for. Intercepting, blocking.
And then the goal today, so Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1, Caicedo 70th minute. If you've not seen it, I don't know where you've been, but I'll do my job and tell you. But, number one, I don't know where Bournemouth's keeper was going, by the way. So Bournemouth's keeper comes out the box, tackles a player, the ball breaks. I think it ricochets onto another player as well. Effectively bounces to Caicedo inside the centre circle. And when I say inside, not just inside, he's basically on the halfway line.
Yeah.
And first time, he loves the keeper from halfway line. And this isn't like Beckham's where he controlled it, turned out, looked up, and was able to set himself.
Yeah.
Ball's coming to him on the bounce. He's probably got half a second to decide what he's going to do, and he executes it perfectly. And by the time the keeper's got back, it's not like the keeper was on the edge of the box or anything. The keeper was 2 or 3 yards off the line.
Yeah.
And he's hit it with enough height,
Pace.
enough dip. The trajectory was perfect. Like, that might be goal of the season.
I think Garnacho's still going to get it. It was a great goal. And when I saw it, I was like, ooh, jeez. But I still think Garnacho's going to get it.
Garnacho, whatever kick.
Yeah. I still think he will get it.
But
All right.
fantastic execution. Then Raheem Sterling, I thought they were going to give us their own goal. Raheem Sterling scores. He's had a bit of up and down season, but I feel like he's been a scapegoat at times.
Yeah, massively.
So Chelsea next season, man. And then they get into the Europa Conference League.
They'll be favourites for that.
Which means that the team with how much have they spent on that Man United squad?
I think it's nearly 400 maybe.
So,
They've still got a sly chance of getting into Europe, but I doubt it will happen.
Of course. So Chelsea finished 6th, 63 points. Newcastle finished 7th, which we've already discussed. I think we said that it's not massively disappointing per se. It's a drop off from getting into the Champions League last season, but lots of injuries. And this is an adjacent point to the one I made earlier about Arsenal. People around you get better. If you it's not going to repeat every year. And I just think there's parts of his squad that just aren't that level. They can have a superlative season, but that's not their
level, their base level.
Yeah. I know you really want to say Dan Burn's name again, but
I'd say I'd pull the trigger on Howe. If it is financially, Newcastle could take the hit.
Hey, brother, if I said this, but go on, talk to me.
I think financially, if Newcastle can take the hit, I would pull the trigger on Howe because I don't see him improving on what he's done this season just based on everyone else.
And you don't think with a better squad he could?
But how much better is he gonna get without losing what he's got? So we know
he got Champions League with it.
No, but I'm saying we know at the minute they've got to sell to buy in it.
Yeah.
So if you're selling your better assets, what's the likelihood of Newcastle bringing in
better
players of that ilk?
Yeah, but to balance the book, he doesn't necessarily have to sell his better assets. He can just sell more of the fringe assets. Because it's about freeing up things like wage bill,
Yeah, but like, okay, so let's say...
So you don't think it's a tactical thing? You've not seen anything from him in the way he sets up his team, the way he manages games to
I think he got better as the season's gone on.
Yeah.
Like, I think they were a little bit too open at the start of the season. He's kind of been a little bit more pragmatic in some of his approaches. But I think for Newcastle to get back to where they want to be, because obviously they were in the Champions League season just gone, I don't think How's the guy to do that. And
even I wouldn't be surprised if the club did it.
Of your basis and your approach, I think he's the most like archetypal person for your opinion of changing a manager.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what happened though? I listened to him on the overlap yesterday, innit?
Talk to good game.
Yeah, some of the things he said and the way he approaches, I was like, okay, maybe if you had different tools, you might be able to do something. But you're right. That is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, where actually, cheers, buddy. The only thing I would say to that is your point about, someone could argue both ways about the PSR thing, innit? So if they can't improve the squad massively, then what's the new manager going to do? Yeah. But then if that coach has got certain ideas or can push things on forward, then you would say he can do more with less. But yeah, you're right. But I don't think they do that this summer. I think next season.
I don't think they will, but I think
they should.
Yeah.
I think they should.
Yeah, because they don't want to get too far behind, innit? Like, you can be the richest club in the world, but if you haven't got, like say, use the word tools to take you to the next level, then it's all kind of pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to. I need to get a coach on here or someone who's qualified to just, like, when you think about someone like Eddie Howe, he's been managing 10, 15 years, right? Yeah. And some of what he's doing versus what these quote-unquote new guys, the Artetas, the Areolas, Fonseca, why are they seen as a bit more progressive and having give you more of a chance of being successful against the bigger teams, so basically make you more successful with less, compared to what Eddie Howe's trying to do, and he's evolving every year, etc. I'd love to know that at a bit of a lower level, because I just hope it's more than just who's fashionable. I would like to think it's more than that, because we saw a little bit of that with Potter. You know, these teams play decent football and stuff, but even when you look at some of the stats, you have to be like, raw. Were Brighton actually doing that well?
Yeah, could they? Yeah.
Then he got the job, and then it's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think at the time, Howe just made the perfect signing as a manager. Like,
what, for Newcastle?
For Newcastle,
it
was a good signing at the time.
Yeah.
But like
they needed someone who'd managed in the Prem before, innit?
Yeah,
and kind of
liked to play quite attacking football.
And at that point, he was out of work. He'd left Bournemouth, hadn't he?
Yeah, he was out of work. Yeah. I think play attacking football, etc., etc. He was a good fit, but like you said, going to the next stage now, like where you're a bit more tactically astute, or creative. You don't really see that with this Newcastle team. But then saying that,
how much is that him and how much is that the personnel?
Yeah, but saying that he done a little create, like moving Joe Linton.
Yeah,
like he's done little tweaks.
Joe Linton was up front doing nonsense. He went back into midfield and it was like, wow.
Where you been?
Yeah. So, you know, even the signing of Anthony Gordon, I know they got that whole structure, but he said himself, he even within that structure, he watches every signing that they sign in detail.
Yeah. And
then he has a veto or not. So, like, he might be good stats-wise and you don't do anything, but I've watched the detail. Nah, not going to fit into what I want to do. Can't coach him. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. I don't know if I will do that right now, but I hear you. But yeah, fair play to them. So they are, but they're not in Europe next season now. So he's got a season of clean slate, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Manchester United. Manchester United. 2-0 win against Brighton away. Okay, not easy feat. They finished the season in 8th. I mean, what we say?
Beating this Brighton this season isn't
Not credible, is it?
Yeah, not compared to last year. Like Brighton have been so up and down. It's like anyone could go there and potentially get a result.
100%.
But yeah, Man United have fallen from grace, and I'm happy about it.
I mean, off the pitch, they're making some of the right moves. They got CEO is highly regarded. They're gonna get Dan Ashworth, who's Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox. So they've gone out and basically got an all-star team,
putting infrastructure in place.
Everyone knows my views. I think Ten Hag has to go.
100%.
He's got to go, right? Gary Neville, I think last week or the week before, was talking about actually there's no one out there, so they should keep him. I think that is the worst person to keep someone in the job at £1 billion organisation.
Yeah.
There's no one else. So
There's someone out there.
You keep doing
lazy.
it, yeah. And maybe we'll get lucky or maybe things will improve because the people above you will make you sound different, blah, blah, blah. He's got to go.
Yeah.
He's the main, his job is, his main driver is on the pitch. He's constantly showed that he's not been able to make that difference. Has he been there 2 years now?
Yeah, this is his second season.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I would say the sample size is there, innit? Like,
yeah.
Right, last season they finished third in the FA Cup. But even last season, there were signs that they weren't playing great football and there was a lot of drop-offs in terms of performances across the league from the other opposition. Granted, they won the FA Cup, fair enough. Always good to have a trophy in the bag. But moving forward, I don't think he doesn't look like he's someone that's got the capability to turn around the kind of mess that's on the pitch at the minute. And they're going to lose players. Do you trust him to bring in players to replace those players?
No, he's not him no more.
Oh yeah, to be fair, yeah, not him. But again, when he was doing the signings, because we know Anthony was his signing, we know Martinez was his signing. How's that power struggle going to work, innit? Like if Ashworth and Wilcox are saying, well, you were given 2 years to show us what you can do in the transfer market and it hasn't really worked out. I think it's time for us to take over. Is he going to be that kind of person just to be like, all right, let me coach these players now? And we've seen that he's not actually that good at coaching. So,
well, and I think his man management has come up short as well.
Yeah. Very.
And we've seen that on a few occasions now. And there's a lot going on there. I forgot about the whole Mason Greenwood situation.
Yeah.
He's gone out to Getafe.
Yeah.
He's done well apparently. He's been scoring goals.
Team are flirting with him, like looking into him. They want to keep him.
Do they bring him back? Do they sell him? All that kind of stuff.
Greenwood, Ronaldo, Sancho.
Yeah.
Rashford.
Well, the Greenwood one wasn't of his making, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I guess...
Rashford. There's been little Anthony incidents.
Yeah. The Harry Maguire situation.
Yeah, it's a lot.
No. Anyway, so yes, and then quickly we'll touch on the relegation. Look, that's been sorted for a while, but today, Luton got confirmed as relegated. Nottingham Forest won 2-0, I believe. Against 2-1 against Burnley away. Chris Wood decided that today's the day he was going to take chances, not when he played against Manchester City, but anyway.
I saw that as well.
So yeah, I think bottom of the table, no surprises. All promoted teams went down. I've already talked at length about Luton and they gave it a good go and now they should take this. I think Forest, even with their points deduction,
they just
finishing 6 points ahead of Luton. Maybe they can build on from here. I think Nuno maybe gets in the job. They got some PSR consideration as well. I don't know what they can and can't do in the summer. So yeah, and I think if you just do a quick run through of the table, City at the top, Liverpool, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa complete the top 4. Tottenham 5th Europa League, Chelsea 6th Europa Conference, Newcastle, Man United, West Ham, and Crystal Palace take us to 10th. So, top half finish for Palace.
Yeah, not bad. Very good.
What's that? Last 5 games, 4 wins and a draw. Big up Mateta. Brighton, Bournemouth, Fulham and Wolves take us to 14th. As much as, again, narrative, Gary Neal's done a good job there, etc. They've dropped off badly. Lost 15 games this season, 18 games this season.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like the record of a manager is doing well. And then if we finish out with Everton, Brentford and Forest taking us to 17th, the clubs that finished outside of the relegation zone. So, yeah, moving on from the Premier League, we've got a few final games to sort out. This Wednesday, 22nd of May, we've got the Europa League final opportunity for Leverkusen to do a double, not the double. They've just finished the domestic season unbeaten, winning a lot of these games, actually. They show, so with recent invincible seasons, obviously Arsenal, Juventus and themselves.
And Rangers.
The graphic I saw didn't include Rangers. Rude, disrespect. And yeah, they'd won the most games out of all those invincible teams, drawn the least. So yeah, I think
make them favourites.
And if
59?
Yeah, and then they've got the German Cup final on Saturday. So
Yeah.
they go for a treble.
We say junior treble.
It's a junior treble, but if you go invincible across all the competitions,
yeah, it's mad.
That's a madness,
Yeah.
regardless of the levels of the trophies. That's absolutely bonkers.
So
Is it like 60 games, all competitions, or 59 games, all competitions?
59, I think.
59, all competitions.
So if we fast forward to next week Sunday, Alonso's won the league. He's won the Europa League. He's won the German Cup. He's basically done the treble. This is his first season in management, right?
Yeah.
No, second.
His second season in management. You know what's going to happen, innit? You know we're going to see all the Twitter comparisons. Arteta's been managing how long? He ain't won nothing. My man's come and won.
Of course.
And Bayern have dominated that league for years.
Yeah. I think that's the most impressive thing out of all of this. Just knocking
Bayern
off their perch.
Yeah.
And comfortably. Like, Bayern finished third in the league.
Yeah.
Bro.
Like, that's mental.
And when you look at it from a points, and I'm not a big fan of comparing points across seasons because I just think you got to look at it relative to the rest of the league. Yeah. But when you look at some of the numbers and the amount of games they've won, so it's crazy. And actually, in a lot of other seasons, they would have won the league. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to kind of topple Bayern or to disrupt it so much, and Bayern being poor has helped. It's not that Bayern have been good and you've just bettered them.
Yeah. But you still got to take advantage of it.
Leverkusen have upped the bar. Bayern have been bad, but not incredibly worse than previous seasons where they've won the league. So for them to finish third is unbelievable. Is crazy. So well done, Harry. What next for Mr. Alonso? I mean, he said he's going to stay at Leverkusen another season, and I rate that actually.
Yeah, so do I.
Because he can try and do it again, and he can take them into Champions League with his style of football, and it's almost like he can test what he wants to do and how he wants to do, and evolve it there
without the pressure. Yeah, most definitely.
With a bit of credit in the bank, do the Champions League, help these players grow. So then when he does go to a big club, I think he'll be better prepared for certain things. I say big club like Leverkusen, a small club, but you know what I mean? When he goes to a club with expectations of challenging in the league and the Champions League, he'll have a foundation of knowledge.
Yeah. The only thing is the pressure on his squad next season is going to be like twofold, isn't it? So
and how many of those players are they going to keep as well?
I think they might keep most of them, you know?
Yeah.
Really?
I think they're just enjoying that project. I think for them right now, you look at it, they're enjoying that project.
Could Leverkusen turn down some of the money that might be coming their way?
I don't think they can. And I think for a lot, like the key players, so you say like Frimpong,
Boniface,
Wirtz, the other guy, yeah. Like they're the kind of three standout. If they got big money bids, that would test their resolve in it. But like the fantasist in me could sometimes like to think, so they're gonna stay in with a project and see it through.
If someone rings up and says, "I'll give you 70 million for Frimpong," they're like, run that.
Which is understandable. So let's see how they
all right, cool.
fend off those vultures.
Atalanta. Again, I think that's reaching the Europa League good for them. Shout out to Lookman, he's out there doing his thing. Scoring a few goals. So I'll be looking out for that result. I'm gonna try watch the game.
Watch it.
And and hopefully catch him in action as well. Another player from even though he represents Nigeria, another player from the Premier League gone out and tried to do a thing in Italy.
Done a bit of a journey, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
went to
definitely- Charlton.
Leipzig, maybe?
Yeah, he went.
Yeah.
He's been out in
Yeah.
Europe twice.
And even, where did they finish in the league? Where did Atalanta finish in the league?
I think they finished outside the top 4.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, but he's been on the journey. He got signed at Charlton. I remember he got signed from Sunday League into Charlton. So
Yeah.
from Charlton to Atalanta.
Yeah.
Played for Everton as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just talk about fall-offs. Napoli's fall-off has been pretty big this season. I think they were 8th in the league or something like that.
It's
It's mad.
horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Considering how well they were last year.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not close enough to that league
Yeah.
to understand. And then next week, we've got the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
And the Championship final.
Playoff final.
Playoff final. So FA Cup finals, City United. We're gonna spend approximately 9 seconds on that. Who's gonna win?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, cool. Championship final is Leeds and who?
Southampton.
Southampton. Well, you know the World Championship, innit?
Yeah, they
Leeds,
both,
Southampton.
yeah,
I don't
they
want Leeds
both-
back, man.
they both like just so the first legs of the playoffs were both 0-0.
Mm.
Then on Thursday, Leeds battered Norwich. I think it was 4-0.
Yeah, 3 or 4-0. Norwich keep out of madness.
Oh mate, he had a stake out for the first 2 goals.
Yeah.
And
Shocking.
then Southampton just put West Brom to the sword on Friday 3-1. So it's going to be a good game.
I don't know why, but I want Southampton.
I know there's a few
I want
EFL snobs
Southampton
out
to
there,
come
but if you get a chance to watch the game,
I'm not an EFL snob. I just,
now you are.
nah, bro. You know what it is?
The standard.
There's better football on.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, between the Prem,
And then it's the
Champions
standard.
League,
Yeah, there
all
is.
the
It's hard,
stuff.
it's hard to watch
bruv,
it all.
I ain't got time. And then I'm not gonna lie,
The quality.
bruv. If you pick the wrong championship game,
Ooh, it's painful, isn't it?
But that happens in the Premier League.
I
as
might as
well,
well,
man.
I might as well,
No,
I
it
might as
does,
well be
man.
down at Long Lane, bruv. You pick the wrong game. But it's just so much football. I've just had a chance to catch up on it. Because I wanted to see how Leicester would get on, etc. You're right, that it's creeping down now, and more teams in the Championship play a certain brand of football. There is less
Yeah,
of
definitely.
the ball in the air stuff. So fair play. And I know a couple of Leeds fans, like proper Leeds fans, as in one of them still lives there,
Yeah.
and another one is London based, but he's from Leeds. So sorry guys, but I don't want your team to come back, man. I want Southampton to come back.
Yeah.
I've got to think.
Yeah, it would have been nice if. So it's good that Ipswich came up.
Yeah.
To kind of break the
up the
I
yo-yo
know
clubs.
they've been in the Premier League before, but
Yeah.
not recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trend of like yo-yo teams going up
Yeah.
and down, like it's good that like little trend has
Yeah.
been bucked.
Bamford's still there. He's still starting every week.
I don't think he's done.
No, he hasn't been starting.
I think he comes off the
Yeah.
bench and etc.
No, I like at Leeds, Somerville. I think
Yeah,
I
he's
think
good.
he'd be a
And I'm surprised he didn't move. I thought
Yeah.
someone would pick him up after.
and Nonto as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
'Cause Nonto was knocking on the door for Italy at some point.
Yes.
So I think if they don't come up,
Mm.
Somerville and Nonto might
Yeah.
be looking
Might have
for
worked to
moves.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have worked to move. Interesting. And then we have the Champions League final
Ooh.
the week after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's still football to be enjoying, man.
Yeah, man.
Still football to be enjoying. Real Madrid, Dortmund. Listen, I want Dortmund to win. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I want
Of
Dortmund
course.
to win. That story would be so bruv. Sancho winning Champions League after you lot cast him out.
Oh, bro,
Oh.
I'd turn up to pre-season with a trophy around my neck.
Man,
Calm.
Listen,
You mad?
listen. Bruv, I wouldn't even turn to pre-season.
That's
I'm not
it.
coming back. But on a separate note, I think it would be a nice story. Again, it's a bit like the FA Cup when we won, like when Leicester won it, whatever. I think it would be a nice story for a club like Dortmund. They've been to the final a few times.
Yeah.
Was there a final at Wembley? Did they play Juventus at the final? Wembley?
Didn't
Was it Klopp? Was it Klopp? Klopp took them to the final, didn't he?
Yeah.
Champions League final.
Yeah, he
That was
lost.
at Wembley, wasn't it?
No, I'm sure the Wembley one was the 2 Italian teams.
Was
That
Juventus?
boring
Oh, yeah.
one that went
Yeah,
to
yeah.
penalties.
Yeah. So they've been a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice for them to win.
Yeah. I think they won
Michael
in
Royce
95
last
or
season.
6. Yeah.
They got lots of young players. You've got what's his name? Adeyemi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the left
Chelsea.
Mason?
Chelsea.
Yeah,
The
Loney.
left
Mason,
foot,
yeah.
bruv. Remember I was talking about him pre-season when he played for Chelsea pre-season?
You were raving about
That
him.
guy.
Right? Yeah.
And he played centre mid that game.
Yeah.
Nah, that guy's cold.
He's not even interested going back to Chelsea, is he? I think he came out.
Yeah.
But again, they might need him. Like I said, he was
Yeah.
good. So they got a nice mix of young players and veterans. Hummels is still there.
Yeah.
The dude,
And what's his name? Emery Can?
Yeah, Emery Chan is still there.
captain.
He's captain. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
think they're
mad.
going to lose and lose badly. But
But yeah,
It would be
seeing
nice.
Jude or Sancho winning the Champions League would be quite nice.
It's
to be
nice.
fair.
It's nice. And then, of course, you've got Real Madrid, man. Is it Modric or Cruz's last season? Can they make it 6 Champions Leagues?
It's mad.
You've got Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinicius, the future of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It's all a bit crazy. It's all a bit crazy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that game, man. Looking forward to that game. Dortmund have got nothing to lose, as in no one's expecting them to
I
walk
think
out there with that trophy.
everyone's got to play 9, 10 out of 10.
To get the result.
10 out of 10. I think some of them Dortmund players have to play like they will never play again.
Run themselves into the ground.
Not even that. Everything they do,
It's
their
perfect.
positional play, their touch, what they
The
think
run.
to do.
Execute everything
Bruv,
perfectly.
I think most of them have to do that more than not. But listen, football's a funny game. You never know. But any mistakes, Real Madrid have it's cliche, but Real Madrid have the quality to punish you. Any mistakes, and Vinny Jr.'s in there, your goal,
Yeah.
you're finished. Rodrigo's in there, your goal, you're finished.
Yeah.
Jude's, as much as people say he's dropped off, he's still scoring goals. I can't remember what game. I think it was a semi-final. They needed to change things. They subbed off Cruz and brought on Modric. Do you know what I'm saying? So lots there. So yeah, I think Real Madrid are clear favourites, but I think it would be nice to see Dortmund
Yeah, it would be.
Dortmund win that. And then you've kind of got this interesting story this season, where at least in a couple of places, the status quo has been shaken a little bit.
Yeah.
Leverkusen in Germany, if Dortmund could rattle the cage, and on the Champions League, Girona qualifying for the Champions League in Spain. So yeah, there's little things. Have you just quickly touching on that? Do you guys aware of the City group situation with Girona?
Yeah. Are they going to have to relinquish some shares in order for that to...
So they can both play in Champions League.
Yeah.
So I think either that's going to happen or UEFA will just change the rule, right?
Yeah.
No, because other people are going to be in that situation. I think Chelsea own a couple of teams now in Europe as well.
Yeah.
If you look at the modern world, we're going to have more and more people that own more teams. So you either stop that happening or you change the rules.
Like the Nottingham Forest owner owned Olympiacos, who just got to the Conference League
There you go.
final.
There you go. One of the guys who owns Crystal Palace, I'm sure he owns Lyon or one of those French teams.
Yeah.
Jim Ratcliffe,
Owns-
Manchester United, Nice.
Yeah. And
So-
Liverpool want that model. FSG want that model going forward as well.
There you go. So I reckon we might end up with it would be good if they stuck to it and said, well, actually, if you're going to own multiple teams, you can have majority share of one.
Yeah.
And then if your
minority,
teams
yeah.
are going to be at that same level, then you have to have minority ownership in others.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. I don't think that's quite solves the problem because you can still do stuff if you're a minority owner. But there was interesting, I think they own 13 clubs. I checked the City website. So there's an interesting story where remember Ant brought it up where I don't know how you say Troyes is in France.
Yeah.
Record signing.
And then loan.
And then he doesn't play. Gets loaned out to another City group team straight away.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, you get to a point where, guys, you're not even,
Hiding it.
you're not even trying to,
Delay it.
you're just being flagrant with the team, bro. He's your record signing. He didn't even make him play 10 league games and then say,
Yeah, hold it.
because don't get me wrong, signings come, they don't work out. You see them in training, you loan them out. But he's your record signing. You can't even afford for him to be so rubbish you don't play him. Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine sending a record signing and then he just goes out on loan? So there's things like that I think in the next couple of years or off the back of this whole Premier League charges thing, like I think when someone pulls on a thread, I think a few of those things are going to come up.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see the rules kind of
Change. Yeah.
evolve on that over the time. All right, cool. So last but not least, after the final games, we got to do some awards and then we'll talk a little bit about the Euros. So, gentlemen, I need a couple of, let me get the award categories up. I think we're going to have some similar views, but right, I want Player of the Year. best signing, biggest surprise, biggest flop, most improved, most overrated, best manager. I think we've done end of season reflections.
Yeah,
to be
we've
honest.
kind of done that.
Team of the season. And then the VAR vote.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go. Player of the year. Vince.
Foden.
Keith. I'm gonna go Palmer.
Ooh, trendy.
No, not even. Not even. I'm gonna go Cole Palmer. I just think it's not been easy to do what he's done in that team.
Yeah, fair there.
But Foden,
It's a fair vote, to be fair.
Foden is now the player that everyone thought he was gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Gareth let him do the same for England. Best signing.
I went with Palmer.
Ooh.
Yeah, Palmer.
Oh, really? Really? I had Palmer as well, you know. I had Palmer. I think he's been value for money. They paid, what, 40 million for him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I went with Palmer as well. Biggest surprise. And it doesn't have to be positive surprise, by the way.
Yeah, I thought that. I was flitting between the
it
two.
doesn't have
but
to be
I'm
positive
going
surprise.
positive.
I went Watkins, and that's just based on. And my reason for him
That's
was
fair.
that I never saw that. I didn't envisage he could do what he's done for Aston Villa this season, and I think actually we're going to see a little bit more from him next season. So I also him as a 10 to 12, but this season he's been like really impressive, and you've seen a variety of finishing in his game. But his link-up plays come along a long way as well.
Biggest surprise?
I was going to go Watkins, but I went with Solanke. Just for kind of similar effect. Like, I never thought Solanke would hit between 15 and 20 Premier League goals in a Bournemouth team. So, yeah, I think he's my surprise.
I went Havertz. I never experienced it. Like, if you think about what Havertz has been for the last year or two at Chelsea and what he was doing when he first came to us, I didn't expect to be sitting there saying, actually, if you pick if you pick 5 or 6 Arsenal's most essential players, he's one of them.
Yeah.
Biggest flop. I'll go to Keith first on this one.
Oh, no. I think for them...
I think that is narrative.
No, I don't think it's narrative, but I think for the money they signed him for...
How much did they pay for him?
Like 50 million or something like that?
So I don't know if the stats back you, but go on.
Yeah, no, forget
they
the stats,
definitely
man.
don't.
I test. So for the money they paid for him, who he was replacing, and there's been a couple games where he saved them like the old points extra, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he'd added anything to the Man United team basically.
Go on.
Enzo.
Yeah.
I think his win percentage, the numbers are backing me up, by the way. His win percentage, and the eye test doesn't pass it for me either. I think, I don't see anything that's impressive to me from James Ward-Prowse.
I thought James Ward-Prowse might have been yours actually, because
Well, James is better than him. He's more impactful than him. So,
I went for a team.
Okay.
Manchester United.
It's true. No, that's fair.
I went for
it never said individual, just the biggest flop.
Just the biggest flop.
Yeah,
I went for a team, Manchester United. Like, them finishing 8th is absurd.
And the way they finished 8th as well.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Like, if we look at all the turmoil at clubs, why they're finishing behind Chelsea, don't understand. So for me, I had to go Manchester United, man. Biggest flop. Most improved. This is an interesting one. Go on, Benz, you first.
I've gone with, I had Kai down, but I chose Mateta. Because,
That's like, when someone starts running in the last 30 meters of a race, he's just a late surge. Because it's been the last 2 months. Yeah, okay, fair. Mateta. Okay, you?
I went Akanji.
Akanji.
Yeah, I think last season he was just kind of someone who came in to plug a gap. Where this season I think he's been pretty consistent in what he's done, and I think he's been very dependable for Pep this year. So when I say like most improved, I'm not saying he was bad, but I think compared to what he delivered last season, I think he stepped up and he's a mainstay in the Man City.
He's gone from like 25 to a 60 mil defender.
Yeah, easily.
I struggled with this one. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to think of someone who, and I kind of landed again on Kai Havertz. Because it's been chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When he
chalk
first
and
came
cheese.
in, this double A pivot thing, he looked lost.
He just
passing.
looks like this
Now-
was gonna be another. This was looked like it was gonna be another
Schumacher.
cross in Arteta's column, bro. Like, but I have to hold my hands up. It's turned out well. I don't want to overstate it. It's not like the guy scored 30 goals or anything, but us pushing Man City to the last day, he's been a pivotal part of that for 7 of the Premiership
Yeah,
months.
definitely. Even
Yeah.
today, innit?
Yeah. Most overrated.
Garnacho.
Fair. I went Bowen.
What? No way.
Explain, bruv, please.
So the narrative with Bowen is that he could walk into any Premier
Liverpool.
League team
I have not seen anybody say that.
and elevate them.
Where did you see this narrative?
When they were
In
like,
your local
he's
metro?
got- no, when he's saying, oh, he's got to be playing for England, etc. I'm not saying he's not a good player.
So before can I just challenge you on that? Did the people say he should be in the England squad or he's got to be playing for England? Because people always get the two mixed up.
Well, it's one of the same, innit?
No, it's not the same,
it's not the same, it's not the same, it's not the
Fair,
same.
it is, man.
It's not the
If
same.
people get injured, you got to play for England.
No.
If people are you, man.
If people
I'm
are
just saying.
If people
I'm
are
just
saying
saying.
he's got to
But
be in
it's his
England
podcast.
contention,
I would like for my
cool.
opinion to be respected.
No, I'm not disrespecting it. I just want you accurate. If you're saying that people saying that he should be playing for England, then you're right. But I've seen people
But
say
if
he
you're
should
in
be,
the squad,
he should be
they
selected
think
for
you
the
have the
squad.
capability to play for England.
Of course
don't
he's
you?
got the
does. He has
capability.
the
He does.
capability.
He does.
I'm just saying.
What, you saying he's not international quality?
I'm just saying. I think he's overrated.
Okay, fair. Can I? Okay.
Why are you like?
No, hold on. I'm not, bro. But
I can't wait
so
for
you
this.
don't think that he should even be making England squad?
No, he's in the English squad, but I don't think he's someone that we should be dependent on. People are like, oh, he has to be. I don't think he has to be there.
Okay,
if he wasn't in the squad,
So he's on form. He should be in the squad, but
yeah,
he's
like
not.
I don't think he's a mainstay. Like I
Yeah.
don't think he has to be there. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just think the narrative around him is bigging him up more than what he is.
Ooh, but he's done it for what, 3 seasons? I think it's
Hmm.
double figures 3 seasons in a row now.
Don't mean he can't be overrated.
So who did you go for?
I went for Garnacho.
So Garnacho,
Bowen.
Bowen. Wild. I've gone for Bruno.
No.
I think Bruno is
Hold
mad
on, so
overrated.
why am I getting beat down for Bowen when Bruno's a better player than Bowen?
What's that got to do with anything?
No,
Nah.
but
It's relative to how people rate him. I think he's overrated, bro. I think he's
But
mad
when I
overrated.
just said that, you were like, nah.
No, I just.
I don't think.
No, because remember, overrated. I don't hear anyone say Bowen should be playing for City or whatever.
Yeah,
So that's
no,
why
it's
I was trying to understand where you think people rate him and where he should actually be. That's all it was. You know me.
I would say
I'm
more
not
people
part.
are beating on Bruno than Bowen.
No, they are. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
100%,
I think he's. Bruv, I think he
No, I
might
mean-
be one of the most overrated players I've seen in a long time. In a long time.
You
bro.
know what it is with
I don't get me wrong. He's a good. I'm not saying he's rubbish. Before you in the
Yeah, I
people start
know
talking
that. I'm
rubbish,
just saying-
you don't do comprehension in it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's rubbish. I'm saying he's not as good.
as people
As
make
people
him
make
out
out.
to be.
And they bring stats and say, "Oh, it's the team." Blah blah blah. You are part of the team. You are captain. You play more than anybody else. So, just by deduction, if the team is dysfunctional, you are playing your fair share in that, and they've been dysfunctional for a while.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Right now, how much would it cost for you to take Bruno out of that team? If you knock him out United, how much would you have to pay to sign Bruno?
What was he before?
70.
70.
Minimum.
You think it'd take you 70
No,
minimum?
No, I don't think it'd be 70.
You think it'd be less?
It's not less than 70. I'm saying 70 minimum.
So you think, so okay, fine. Even 70, 80 mil, yeah?
Hmm.
What top team, because the way people talk about him is that he should be playing for a top, what top team is coming to drop that kind of money for Bruno now? Give me a name.
Oh, yeah,
I was going to say 50. That's why I was like,
No, you're not getting Bruno for 50 million. No way. It's not possible. He must be one of their top earners.
I hate it,
Decent
but
contract.
that's the argument. Like, if a top team was going to come in, how much are they willing to pay for him?
Yeah, but if they're only willing to pay 50 million for him, it proves my point.
And that's what. And this is it. and like you're saying they would want 70 to 80, and those top
Yeah,
teams
but
are gonna be like,
And again, for
I've
you
got someone in the youth team that,
bruv,
yeah,
Real Madrid, whoever's giving the top team, City, you know, Liverpool, Arsenal, none of them are coming now and rattling Old Trafford to get him out of there. They're not doing it.
No.
The guy, bruv, I know he runs around a lot. I know he have some puffs a lot, but bruv, you don't need to start rating him. When some, you know what your mum and dad tell you, when someone shows you who they are, listen to them. Bruno's been showing us who he is.
Yeah.
Listen to him. Anyway.
Yeah, fair.
Best manager.
I went with Emery.
Ooh, yes, nice.
And just because what he's done with the Aston Villa squad,
Yeah.
the turnaround and the performances that they've put in.
See, this wording is interesting because it's not manager of the season. It's best manager.
Yeah, but
And that
it's
changes
end
things.
of season. It's end of season.
No, I'm not saying
awards,
it's a
bro.
bad thing. No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I
but
think that changes it slightly for me.
Ah.
Not gonna lie.
So who did you go for? Oh, Iriola, you said, didn't it?
Mhm.
You said Iriola.
I started to type his name and I thought, nah, I'm going Iriola, man. I'm going because
No, that's fair.
the
Yeah.
start of the season looked nuts. And now he's got Solanke slapping 8
20,
got 8. Yeah, so and I'm not gonna, I'll be honest,
Even Justin Kluivert.
even when people say that whole it's taking time for the players to know what he wants, all that business. Even that sometimes I don't wash with because you might it's just a combination of you're not getting your message across and your plays aren't good enough. You gotta go in it. But they stuck with him and they kind of had to after the way they gave O'Neal the elbow. So for me, I think it's gonna be Iriola this season. And again, he's a good example of you don't need 3 or 4 windows to do this or whatever. You get your ideas across. You sit the people down that can't do it. You get as many of the people on the pitch that can,
Do it.
and you work with the rest.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Emery for me.
Emery, yeah?
Yeah, same reasons.
Quick one on Emery. He's been around a bit. He's done PSG, so he's done the big club thing. He's done PSG. He's won the Europa League, 3 times, Sevilla, etc.
Yeah.
When does he become like him? Do you know what I mean? When does he become league winning? Or actually, this is his level. If you want a rescue job, if you want Emery to take you to organised, well-run team, he does that. But he's not the guy that's going to win you or keep you challenged on a regular basis. Because he's not like that. Oh, actually, his evolution doesn't have to stop. But I'm just saying, he's not a new manager. He's been around a while. He's had the big job.
Yeah.
Did he win it at PSG?
Of course he won it.
Yeah.
Come on.
I would have won it. So
Yeah, I don't know if he gets back there, to be honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he might get I think he does, but in another country. We don't work like that in England.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think off the back of this, maybe he gets a decent Spanish job or a decent Italian job.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Team of the season.
What happened to worst? Worst manager?
That wasn't on it.
Oh, I thought we had worst.
That was in the original.
Oh, yeah.
The other group.
Oh,
I took
sorry.
it out because I was like,
Can we just?
Yeah.
I just want to throw my worst to Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you wanted to say that.
I'm going company.
Ooh.
I'm getting company, bruv. No, I'm getting company, fam.
company.
No, but
Yeah, 100%.
for me,
nah, no business.
Company had the playing style. He just didn't have the players to execute it. I'm
Nah.
Eric Ten
Company.
Hag had money, got players.
Yeah, it's got to be Ten Hag.
It's got to be Ten Hag.
I'm going
Yeah.
company, bruv.
Ten Hag. The team, are we doing our individual ones, yeah? Like we said,
Yeah.
or just
Individual.
quick rattle off, yeah?
Yeah, go on then.
All right, let me get never. So I know you lot are sticklers for positions, but I said bun that. I've just got 4 defenders, midfielders, forwards.
Okay.
All right. Allison in goal.
What?
It's my team. It's my team.
Oh, right, bruv,
Whoa,
Relax.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
No. There's no
Oh,
time
my-
out.
Allison.
Allison in goal. Saliba.
No, bro, don't do this.
Bruv,
So, start again in a second. No.
I don't know why I'm getting pulled up, bruv. Like,
No, the bias. You're
It's not
going to be
bias.
that biased.
it's not a bias, man.
And you're dissing Onana.
He got nominated for Save of the Season like 6 times this season, man. Like, I watch us week in, week out. Come on.
Of course you do.
Let me-
That's the whole point. You only see you lot week
Alright,
in,
go
week
on.
out.
All right, Saliba, Gabriel, White, Van Dijk, Rodri, Rice, Odegaard, Palmer, Foden, Haaland.
Well,
See
you
what
good, 'cause I
formation
said it
did you
written,
play?
man.
4-3-3.
All right. So I've gone with Raya, Walker, Saliba, Gabriel, Tottenham left back, Udogi,
Udogi.
Yeah.
Rice, Rodri, Foden, Odegaard, Palmer, and Watkins.
I'm gonna have to do mine on the fly because I didn't do it.
I can't believe you had Alisson in goal.
Bruv, Alisson's been good this season.
You're not
Trust
gonna like
me.
mine.
And I can't believe you
Trust
got
me.
Thingy and Vivi.
I made a big noise and stink about his because you're not gonna like mine. Anyway, I'm gonna do this on the fly. Edison, Saliba, Gabriel, White, Porro.
Bro.
What you paying for a left
I
back?
think he.
No, I just did the 4. I didn't do positions.
Yeah,
Okay.
just 4 defenders.
Okay, for one, keep the rules. He helped me out. Rice, Rodri, Odegaard.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill me. And I'm getting Palmer, Saka, Haaland.
Saka?
Numbers, Saka's. You can't
Hold on, you
argue
didn't have
it.
Foden?
He did.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, get out of here, man. That's ridiculous.
Not as ridiculous as Alisson, but
Of course it is.
Mm.
No
I
player
had
of
to
the
pick-
year.
I had
He's
to
player of the year. He hasn't played his whole team. Come on.
wait,
No,
you know what?
Palmer
You
was my player
started
of the
it.
year.
You started it. You
No,
started
no.
it.
Palmer was my player of the year.
okay.
Yeah,
fair
Palmer was my
enough.
player of the year.
I didn't start nothing,
You
bro.
did start it.
I didn't
Palmer's
start
He
my
done
player,
this
yeah.
one off the cuff because you put Alisson. That's why he put.
And
Saka.
don't get me wrong,
Alisson
this
had a
hasn't
good
been
season.
Saka's best season, but this has probably been his most dependable.
Yeah.
So even through all the stuff, etc., I think he's been dependable. So and it was Palmer or Foden. I went Palmer. And people have again football narrative. Oh, Haaland this, Haaland that. But the guys won 2 golden boots in a row.
Yeah.
And he's 23. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it, mate.
But you know, like, so just quickly back on Saka, when you say it's not his best season, is that based on eye test or
Eye test.
the numbers?
Which is what makes it even more because his performances haven't been what they were before, but his numbers,
there?
they're
Yeah.
there. But if you watch him play, I don't think his performances have been as consistently good or effective as maybe previous seasons.
Yeah.
But he's matured to the point where, out of a 95-minute game,
You know,
that
you're gonna get.
30 minutes where he is good, he's affecting the game.
Yeah.
And there was another thing that I saw what might be impacting on his like attacking numbers is the amount he's tracking back. He's tracking back a lot. Like a lot of interceptions in our final third and stuff like that. So yeah.
I can imagine Arteta having that convo and
Yeah.
it's very data driven.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. Your average position is here. All this
Yeah.
stuff. All right, cool.
Got one
Season is done.
the one last question, right? The bar in or out?
Oh yes.
Yeah, so
Bar in or out?
Wolves put a motion to the Premier League to have a vote on VAR. They had quite a few points.
Which I think were all fair.
Yeah, quite valid. So the Premier League are voting on it at their
June the 6th.
their general meeting next month. They need 14 of the 20 teams to pass it for it to come
What do you
in.
think is gonna happen?
You think it will happen?
No, so what do you think is gonna
Oh,
happen?
I don't think it will.
Same.
Yeah, I don't think it will.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would like it to happen or change.
I would like it to change, not to go away, but I like the way Wolves have done this. And this is probably what other teams should have done, Arsenal included, instead of talking rubbish in the media. Yeah.
Toys out the prime.
Yeah, instead of throwing that. So Wolves have just said, all right, let me do official channels, bring a resolution. If everyone votes to keep it, everyone votes to keep it. But that shouldn't now be a put up and shut up. We'll keep it, but there has to be
improvement.
Some change,
bruv.
improvement.
Has
Yeah.
to be, has to be, man. There has to be. So yeah, we've talked about possible options. But it definitely needs to be. And even if they don't change the procedure, they have to change the interaction and how things are communicated in the stadium for fans. They at least got to change that.
Yeah.
That's got to get better. Much
Yeah.
much better.
I just think they just guidelines on when they intervene, etc. But yeah, definitely communication with the fans and waiting around. So yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. Remember to subscribe, comment, share. We'll be back next week to review some of those final games and look ahead to the Euros and Copa America, which is taking an interesting format this season. And I'm sure there'll be even more off the field stuff for us to cover. Last but not least, this is the only time I'll say well done to a Chelsea team. So well done to the Chelsea women's team for winning the league. Emma Hayes is gone now. She's gone to manage the US women's national team.
The biggest job in women's football.
Easily.
Yeah.
It was announced months ago. Clearly didn't have an effect on their team because they've won the league.
You say that.
Well, the Champions League, they got knocked out of the Champions League.
They were on for the quadruple when it got announced, and then they kind of fell by the wayside in the cup competition.
Yeah.
And then I say only won the league on goal difference yesterday.
Yeah, but for them, it's they're so it's gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I don't probably watch the women's game as much as you and Daz do, but I am very interested to see how she goes over there and affects that
pressure.
But you know what? In the women's game, she's a giant.
She starts at the Olympics. It's like straight into it. Like it's going to be a baptism of fire.
Well, she's a giant. And it's interesting because unlike the men's game, you know, maturity-wise, I'm sure the women's game in America is as mature as it is here, if not even more.
Yeah.
Way further ahead.
Way further ahead.
So while she's a giant kind of in the game here, we're interested to see how she's
received.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of personalities in that.
Yeah.
In that US
there's rumblings that
team.
if she doesn't win the Olympics, like there's pressure's on already, which is crazy. But see how she goes. Yeah, big up Oxford and Crawley for winning their playoff games and getting promoted to their leagues.
All right, bye.
Peace.
Peace out.